Hello and welcome to another episode of the Plus 63 HP podcast. I'm one of your hosts, John Clemente. Alongside with me are two of my bestest best friend. I'm gonna start with the guy with the pink headset, CHUBAX. How are you doing?
Oh, tiring week, but back at it, and we're finally happy to be here. Welcome back,
Uh, it's been,
boys.
we took a quick break, but we are coming back with fresh new content for all y'all's. Our other co-host for all of our reviews episode and reacts episode is our friend from the West Coast, Arnie. How are you doing?
West Coast. Ah, hi. Hello. Hello there. We're back. We're still alive.
We are still alive. And if this is your first time on the channel, thank you very much for the view. We love that you are helping us grow this channel for like-minded individuals that like content. This is our review show that we drop usually on Mondays and Tuesdays, where we deep dive into a particular series or a movie, give our opinions and ratings so that you can be informed whether you should watch it by yourself or with your friends and family. We've been watching, we know it's a little bit late, but we've been watching an amazing new Disney Plus series, the season 3 of Mandalorian. And we have not reacted to and reviewed the very last episode. So for this particular one, it's going to be a quick, short and sweet one. We will be discussing Mandalorian season 3, episode 8. And then we will be opening it up to a new series is starting next week. So bear with us. I know you've seen a lot of other reviews about this particular season, the series in this episode, but this is our take of Mandalorian season 3, episode 8. So for the very quick synopsis of what had happened in the season finale, I'm gonna turn it over to Arnie. Arnie, hit us up with the season finale of The Mandalorian.
Hello. So the show starts immediately after Paz Vizsla's heroic death. So we see Bo-Katan and the Mandalorians running, trying to retreat. They contacted Axe Woos, who, as we know, started jetpacking all the way to warn the fleet. So she basically filled him in on what's happened. Meanwhile, our hero Din Djarin was being carried to interrogation by two, I would guess, minions. Of course, he escapes,
He goes
and
on to die
IG-12
hard.
he
I
go
love
he
it.
goes he goes basically
John McClane.
John
John
McClane
McClane.
John McClane on everybody, and IG-12 Grogu also helps him out, and then we get like a gauntlet match where he's like taking on two uh troopers each time because of that ray shield. So it's a good action sequence. If you're in for action, this last two episodes basically satisfies that appetite.
It
Uh,
very little dialogue, all
very
grunts
little
and
dialogue, which is,
all
I
punchy
mean,
punchy.
all punchy punchy, smashy smashy, yes yes yes, no no no, right? And then of course, once Axe Wolves makes it to the fleet, he tells all the Mandalorians to help out Bo-Katan. So they all jet back out of their ships, and then he stays with the capital ship, which he uses as a distraction for all the TIE interceptors that Moff Gideon launched. Uh, Long story short, he crashes that ship into the base, which triggers this whole explosion chain of events. And meanwhile, uh,
Perfect aim too.
yeah, and meanwhile, Din Djarin and Grogu finds Moff Gideon's clones. They destroy it, and then they also find Moff Gideon, and some more action, punchy things happen, and then the Praetorian Guards arrive. They almost got Din Djarin as well, but IG-12 manages to distract the Praetorian Guards and get separated from Mando. And then Bo-Katan arrives with the dark saber, and she and Din Djarin uh, manages to distract Moff Gideon so that Din Djarin could go after the Praetorian Guards. And again, a lot of forced jumps. and cute moments with Grogu. But of course, it was so stressful because people thought that he will be killed off. But Disney's not that dumb. But yeah, so
People thought that Grogu
Mando.
was gonna die.
Well, there's some, but they're like, no. I mean, it's a mixture
No
of some
way.
people.
Yeah.
They there's a lot of people predicting and like so. But basically, Grogu and then Jaren basically a tag team. It's almost like a Hell in a Cell match, 2 versus 3. But of course, Grogu uses the Force to help out Din Djarin, so they overcome the Praetorian Guards and they go back and uh, find Bo-Katan, who you know it's a
So that was a
mismatch
nice sequence with the gates,
with the
the
gates.
one and
Yeah,
one,
the one and
and
one, and
it made the fight scene, one, it's more intense, but
yeah.
also it's good to kind of like make it a little bit more fair in terms of not 8 is to 1. It's just like
And
two
Yeah,
versus one
good
every single level, and
storytelling
he's
also. Like
good
good
twist.
it's
Plus,
storytelling by the fight. So
by the
yeah,
fight, and then
yeah,
every segment that he beats, he gets more and more stuff.
yeah.
So
yeah,
it's like, and it makes sense. Like you get the weapons.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah. Plus, you don't see Din Djarin being very overpowered, which a lot of folks have criticized Star Wars for. There's a lot of overpoweredness in certain characters, which I will not go through in this summary. But basically, Bo-Katan and Moff Gideon have their one-on-one battle that she's been wanting since season 2. Um, and of course, the dark saber was destroyed by Moff Gideon. And when all hope was lost, Din Djarin and Grogu joins the fight. So basically a 3-in-1, kind of like WWE again. Uh, they triple tag team him, and eventually, when the capital ship crashes, the explosion basically this Moff Gideon suffers the same fate as Gus Fring, gets blown up, and then Grogu and uses the Force to protect his dad and his stepmama, Bo-Katan, and that's the end of the battle. And then as the epilogue, say they started, I think they finished the baptism of Ragnar finally, and
Finally.
there's no giant creature trying to kill him, but people were thinking, oh, maybe the mythosaur will attack him or what, but no, it was just Grogu. And also to make Grogu into a founding apprentice, Din Djarin officially adopts him. So now they're basically father and son now. And Grogu manages to connect with the mythosaur. So a lot of speculation about that again in the future of the show. And then the dad and son goes back to Navarro where Grief Karga gives him a cabin, and then IG-11, which going back a little bit, then Jari meets up with Carson Teva. Basically, he's gonna be a bounty hunter for the New Republic unofficially.
Mhm.
He gets an IG helmet, I mean head, so that he could fix IG-11, and IG-11 becomes the new Marshal of Navarro.
I forgot
So
that they still needed one too. It's like, oh, all
yeah, I
right.
know it was good. They set it up. Well, everybody thought they abandoned it when we got R5, but see, people just needed to be more patient. So we got IG-11 again. So there we go. And then that's the end of the show. The final shot is just Mando chilling out his cabin, and Grogu is just using the Force to get more frogs. But it was a cute ending, and it did have a feeling of it being the end. But then again, last season also felt like it was the end, the
I
end.
think they're just making sure that
Yeah,
it's a nice hello. It's just like a
Sayonara, the
nice
people on the
cap.
internet.
Ooh, good night, cutie boy. But yeah, they're just like making
They're-
sure that
it's
it,
bookended. Yeah,
it's chapter, so it's
yeah.
nice. But also, it's like you open yourself up to, there are rumors that the Mandalorian becomes like the Mandalorians, so it doesn't have to be just Din, it could be Bo,
Yeah.
it could
I,
be Boba Fett, right?
I
Yeah.
So
wouldn't mind like
hopefully,
a la Western episodic again, like
Yeah.
yeah.
Strange New Worlds. So that would be
Yeah.
Yeah,
good.
so I think it's a smart way to make sure that everybody is satiated. It's not a cliffhanger. They don't put back themselves into a corner in terms of a cliffhanger ending, so
Yeah.
they can have options. So
Yeah.
I don't mind whether Bo-Katan, like the next season is Bo-Katan or Axe Wolves
Mm-hmm.
or Mercedes, what's her name? Monet, Mercedes
Coscarees,
Monet, Sasha Banks,
Sasha
right?
Banks.
Or Boba Fett. So it's nice.
Yeah.
I actually hope that maybe the next season is an equal split among all of them, right? Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, we also, I think we haven't talked about this ever since Star Wars Celebration. They announced that there's going to be a movie Dave Filoni's directing that will tie up everything. So
All the Mandoverse.
basically, it's like the Avengers level type of movie. So yeah, so we just have to be patient for that. So yeah, so that's basically season three. Uh, I wouldn't say controversial. It's just people just had bigger expectations, but you know what?
Yeah.
If they're good writers, well, there's a writer's strike. Maybe they could strike. They could write their own now and see if it gets made.
That's true. Well, they have a
So
little bit of time to take a break. But with that, Chubas, what are your final thoughts and rating on the last episode and the season of The Mandalorian season 3?
Oh, we loved it. We're watching with my kids. I love the final
yeah.
episode. The only issue, if it's just nitpicking, but it's still a big leap, is the Axe Wolves going
Mhm.
straight
Going to space.
to the space. Like what was this? Like most of the cult Mandalorians couldn't even just follow the big bird in whatever planet that was, and then Axe Wolves can just go fly straight out of the atmosphere through a
100%.
storm. So in that teeny jetpack. So I mean, they
Yeah.
do have high better technology. They were the ones in. That's the only thing that I'm thinking of, like an
They
explanation that
have the
like
money.
they have better equipment. So it could be like the Mercedes Benz of jetpacks, even though it's small. So
Maybe he's the only one. Like if Paz Vizsla has the minigun, he's the only one that has
uh
the minigun.
maybe
He might have the
yeah.
jetpack that flies to
Pass
space. We
Vizsla
get it.
had the SUV of jetpacks.
That's the only
It's
thing that really popped off as like too much for me. But everything else, I loved like the Mando Die Hard scene was fun. Splicing it
mm,
with was it R5?
mhm,
Yeah, the R5 adventure also was
Opening.
fun. Yeah,
yeah.
and then what was this? I love the sequence where all the Mandos flying get together,
Mhm,
and then they all fly down meeting the Beskar stormtroopers. That
mhm.
scene
Mm-hmm.
was choreographed really well. Like all the shots of
Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
armor,
Mm-hmm.
go bang, bang, like oh that.
Still using a hammer.
Yeah, and the
So
whatever
And
stone,
thongs.
yeah, the
yeah,
top. It's well shot.
well shot.
well sent. Yeah, the choreographed.
Yeah.
I really liked it. And then the
It's
fight,
basically what it's basically Clone Wars in live action. Because I remember we did
there was a scene
have
like
that
that.
kind of scene. Yeah, yeah, in Clone Wars.
So yeah, that was cool. And then I love that they're doubling down on like these desperate, like almost uh like endangered species of the Mandalorians. Like they finally realize that we're like, aside from the Jedi's and the Sith, we're probably the most badass people in the world, and the only thing that
Mhm.
always beats us is our division.
Themselves.
Yeah,
Ourselves.
you're
Yeah.
fighting,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
and they doubled
Makes
it
sense.
down with everything, like the story with the a bow almost getting killed by hitting a wall with Gideon, and then only for Mando to come back and
Yeah.
because they're stronger together, and also with destroying the dark saber because it was a crutch.
Yeah.
It's like it's a stupid thing to like. Oh, who has it as the
Just
leader? Like it's
just like Excalibur, man. You don't. It's not a functioning government to have.
yeah, it just sucks. So I don't. I like it. I don't know where we're going from here, but Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people were uh I, um I guess I don't know, disappointed or shocked with how season 3 played out, but
Uh, they
I
just
like
have a
it.
lot of
I think
attachments.
it's
Yeah.
more of your expectations, and for me,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like not knowing. I like, give me what you
Yeah.
got, and I'm really very entertained, and me and my kids love it. And
Yeah. Show us what you
I
got,
mean, the
man.
3-on-1 versus Moff Gideon was really cool with
Yeah.
uh Grogu helping out, and even the Mando Praetorian Guard fight with Grogu helping out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so simple the things that he can do, but at the right time, it can really win
Yeah.
a fight. Just a little force
Yeah.
push and pull.
Yeah.
So I
And
love it.
I found it funny. There's people in the internet complaining, "Oh, it's like whenever Grogu jumps, they seem like they just got a puppet and tossed it and just hit record." Like, yeah, because he is a
it is
puppet.
a bit. Yeah,
What did you expect? It's
yeah,
Star Wars. You hated the CGI Yoda, and then now when they come back with puppets, they
yeah. There's
so
always
they'll
going to
never
be
satisfied. So like
one.
for me, like I like it. He is an actual puppet that's being tossed out all around.
And your rating, Chubaks?
I'll go with a 9 for the episode and for the season as well. I just enjoyed it.
Mm. I extremely enjoyed the season. The action was taken up 2-3 notches compared to all the other Star Wars series and all the other Mandalorian series. So I really appreciated that. It's every episode was extremely fun, but I
Mm-hmm.
do understand that, of course, like the story, it's not necessarily weak, but it didn't really push the boundaries of storytelling like we've seen in Andor and like what we
Mm-hmm.
experienced recently with The Last of Us. So that's understandable why people may kind of, maybe their expectations were a little too high and they forget the entertainment value. And then
Mm-hmm.
they kept on saying that maybe there's a boundary that needs to be pushed. It's not every day that you can have a series that will be as groundbreaking as Andor, right? So
Special is special. If everything was special, nothing is,
And nothing
exactly.
is.
right?
So
Yep.
yeah,
Exactly.
I think it's just good. I mean, I like the idea that people are still, I want expectations to be high. I want these studios to really, really make
Of course, of course.
amazing
Mm-hmm.
stuff for us. And I think, Mando was that thing. It's very simple. If you really look at it, I was watching episode maybe 7 and 8 in the background, and I realized how little dialogue they have. That they'll probably have speak a few speaking moments in the first third of the episode, and then very little throughout the episode already. A lot of traveling, a lot of one-way
Mm-hmm.
talking by Din and then Grogu, and sometimes I'm like, wait, that's nice. It's nice to
Mm-hmm.
just actually watch something very pretty. And
Mm-hmm.
the good thing about it is every episode had an action piece, and
Mm-hmm.
90% of the action pieces were great. Like
Mm-hmm.
that, even the CGI action pieces of dogfighting with different ships, right? So we get all flavors. We have giant beasts. We have Beskar armor stormtroopers versus Mandalorians. We got different types of weapons. It's like it's so visually pleasing. Like yeah, even at the end with the force shield by Grogu. Cool. And then everything was like again, it's one of those things that will I be watching this season over and over? No. But if I go on YouTube and they have top 10 best fight scenes in Mandalorian, I'm sure a lot of it will be coming up in season 3, and then I'll be watching
Mm-hmm.
that too. So with that, I give it a high 8. Like it's solid, it pushes the boundary. It doesn't make a new doesn't make new ground in cinema, but I like this is, I think, hopefully the baseline of all Star Wars series moving forward. I hope it's this. It's solid, it's episode per episode, there's a big through line, but you make the most of the weapons, the actions, the characters. And I hope, again, this is not bad. This is not Boba Fett, which is a lot of disappointing episodes and a lot of really good episodes. This one is like solid through and through, and it's really centered around Din, Grogu, and um Bo-Katan, and then all of the things make sense, right?
Bo,
You know,
what's their
all
ship
of the
name?
stuff.
Bo Jaren?
Boj
Dinbo?
Boj
Bodin? Bodin?
Bodin. No. Arnie, your rating and final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Well, we've been blessed with Andor, plus, so I'll give it a high 9 for me. Considering where it came from, we just had Luke effing Skywalker season 2 finale, and then for what we got after that, it's a it's a good, satisfying story. Because where else would you go, right? You already got Luke Skywalker. What other surprise would you want that would satisfy all these fanboys? What Cal Kestis? Well, yeah, if you play the video game, but if you don't play the video game, they're like, "Who's that?" Right? So, so considering that what we got, yeah, I love the season. I loved all the cameos. Jack Black, Peaches, mwah,
Oh,
you know, yes. So basically, we had Christopher Lloyd. We got the Dark Saber. We got Katie F. and Sackhoff the entire season. I think there's a podcast or YouTube video I saw that she was like looking at all the fan reactions, and she was feeling depressed, and then her husband's like, "No, they all loved you," and then there's 2% that just wants
yeah,
to do
it's always
some
good.
some dirty stuff with you. But yeah, but other than that, you'll be fine, and she was fine, and yeah, it was a Bo-Katan focus season considering we that Pedro had Last of Us. If you remember
Oh yeah,
back,
no, zero Pedro face this season.
yeah, but the thing is,
Which I
because
like it
normally,
because
yeah,
it doesn't make
but
sense, you know? They pushed it
yeah,
last time, which makes sense when they did it. So it's like
yeah,
weird that he goes all through all this and then takes it off again. Like,
yeah,
you know, it
Well, I
doesn't.
mean, I just like I think, I was hoping that at the house at the very final scene, maybe while Grogu was outside, he comes inside and takes off and eats something, whatever. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm totally
Yeah,
fine with it.
but the thing is, considering before, because remember, one of the reasons Kit Harington was having trouble with HBO is because they have him for a multi-year contract. He has to keep the same appearance, yada 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 yada. So the other movies that he had to make, he looked like Jon Snow,
Mhm.
right? But with Pedro, because well, it's
Yeah,
he's in a helmet, but Star
mostly
Wars are
a
like, well,
voice.
yeah, I mean, you're a voice actor, just give us like 2 hours a day to say lines, which also why there's not a lot of dialogue. But we got The Last of Us and we
But
got
yeah, that's
season 3
Din
of
also. It's
Mando.
not like he's he's
Mm. It makes sense
talkative.
with the
Yeah,
character too.
Yeah.
yeah.
So like
So
even with Bo, like
yeah,
even with Bo, if there's like some episodes or some shoot scenes where we don't need your face, that's
yeah,
good. So you
yeah.
can preserve your actors.
Yeah,
And they are
and Kate,
Mandalorians.
yeah, and Katie did mention that in that show that yeah, there were some scenes that she wanted to do the stunts, but she was like, you know what? That's the last time I hurt my back a little bit, so yeah, let's have the stunt double do it. So yeah, so for
I
me,
I also like how like season 2 and Boba Fett was like the seasons of cameos.
mhm,
And season 3 they didn't push it too much. Like I mean Jack Black was a cameo, but that's more it's not like a character cameo like we knew who he
mhm,
was. It was just like
yeah,
an actor, you know. So they didn't push it too much here. Like it didn't make sense for another, some other guys to come out or
yeah.
so
Yeah,
uh
people were expecting, and to be honest, I did kind of expect a little bit of Ahsoka to launch the Ahsoka series, but then again, Ahsoka has her own series, so let's wait for that. And we already got the
and she
trailers,
already
so
showed up, so she doesn't need to be launched again because it was already
Yeah,
launched in the last
exactly.
season.
But we
the
did get Zeb.
backdoor
We did
pilot
get
already
Zeb.
happened.
I was hoping for one more Zeb in that last scene with Carson Teva, but you know what?
Mhm.
One Zeb is fine. We did get that, so
I'm
I'm happy
happy
with.
we got who voices IG-11 again? Taika Waititi.
Taika,
Like
yeah, he's back. Although I love the IG-12 concept. So so in a way, like Gus Fring got killed by somebody on a like a ding ding again. But yeah, but basically, again, it's considering where season 2 ended, season 3 could have been much worse. to be quite honest. But yeah, especially with Cara Dune's character being written off. But yeah, everything is as I wanted. I guess it's not exactly what everybody wants, which is fine.
Yeah.
Again, if you're a good enough writer, your whatever stories you want will be written and will be shown, will be made. But
and
this is what
and like
Dave and John wanted. So
Jong also said, like, the writing may not have been groundbreaking, but, like, I'm
Solid.
watching in the room with my kids and my wife, and
yeah,
watching in
it's
the
hard.
TV, the scenes that we're getting is as close to cinematic in the theater as we can get. The shots and the
Yeah,
epicness. It does what it does. So it may not be groundbreaking writing wise, but other
yeah,
aspects, that's not the only aspect that can be done
yeah.
well or should be done well.
Not everything can be Andor, Last of Us, the early Game of Thrones seasons. So, I mean, as long as it's not Game of Thrones season 7, I'm good. So, you know, so yeah, a high 9 out of 10 for me, and I can't wait for the Ahsoka series, the Skeleton Crew, and whatever else that Filoni, the Mandoverse is going to offer us. So
Yeah. I'm excited for us. Ahsoka will
excited.
be lit. I need to watch Rebels
What
now
month
to
Oh,
is that?
just catch
What
up.
what month is that,
August,
Ahsoka?
August. August.
August, and then Sabine,
Yeah.
Ah, so
and
perfect.
then
All right. Cool.
Hera. So yeah,
Oh, Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Mary, yeah. My ex-girlfriend,
Miss Ben
Mary
Solo.
Elizabeth.
Miss
Miss
Ben, Miss Obi-Wan pala, Miss Obi-Wan.
Miss Kenobi,
Miss Kenobi.
Mrs.
Miss Kid-
Kenobi.
Miss Cloverfield Lane. Anyway,
Mm.
that is our thoughts and opinions about the last episode of season 3 of The Mandalorian. Catch us next week when we start discussing one of like my feel good shows of ever. Every time that I feel a little down, I pop any episode in any season of Ted Lasso, and I'm extremely entertained. So we're gonna start Ted Lasso starting next week.
Do
Join
you
us
wanna
there.
do you
They
wanna do
have
one episode or three?
maybe we'll do 3. Well, it's we'll divide it either first half, second half, or first third, second third, last third. I think it's only 10 episodes, so it might be
I think
finished
I
in.
don't know. I think maybe yeah, let's try one. I like to dissect it a little
Okay,
more
we'll
proper. So
deep dive.
yeah,
We'll
so
we'll
we don't
discuss further, but
we
most
don't
likely we'll deep
skip too
dive on,
much.
yeah, episode 1 of Ted Lasso. But with that, in behalf of Arnie from the West Coast, CHUBAX from the Philippines, I'm Jong from New York. We will see you in the next video. Goodbye.
This is the way.